whether you're married or single or poly or eight, or hanging out with swingers back at your place. Listen to us as we give no fuck on Tinder and Bumble and plenty of yucks. Trying and having no luck, because we all know dating kinda sucks. Sarah and Adam are two of a kind. He says stupid shit and she doesn't mind. They're not doing this show to make any buck. Life as a chicken whose feathers they pluck. Why does it work? Well, here is the crux. They both know dating kinda sucks. Dating kinda sucks.
Hi, I'm Adam Heath Avitable.
And I'm Sarah.
This is Dating Kinda Sucks, a podcast about dating, sex, and relationships. This week, we'll be talking about the fallacy that is the friend zone. Enjoy the show.
And if you are lucky enough to be watching us on YouTube right now, now is a great time to subscribe, like, turn on notifications so you don't miss a future episode or a single video.
And we're back after.
Wow, you know how to podcast? What the fuck
I
is
know,
that?
I know.
This
We've
is weird.
forgotten. This is quite an odd arrangement. If you're watching this, then you're gonna especially see how odd it
I'm
is.
sitting on the floor and I'm at an Airbnb. We're just kind of winging it. We're on the road.
Yeah, I'm sitting on the floor of my grandparents' bedroom, the master bedroom in their cabin, which is their bedroom, and there are statues of Jesus everywhere staring at me. These statues of Jesus have seen me masturbate so many times now that I don't even have shame anymore.
Been there, what, 3 days?
I've been here like 5 days, I think.
Okay, already that many, I guess. Okay.
I don't have a lot to do here, so it's like twice a day right now. It's just,
there it is. There it is.
It's like, what should I do? I know, I'll jerk off again. So yeah, I'm up in the mountains of North Carolina, and Sarah is down in Florida.
In Florida.
Yeah.
At an undisclosed location in
Undisclosed
Florida
location.
by the beach.
But just somewhere on the beach. And so we had to kind of be able to set up when we could record. I was too busy for the last couple weeks trying to get everything done with my house and getting rid of all that. So that was made it a little difficult. So we're here though, and ideally we're going to be kind of consistent in our episodes.
Plan now that we've had these major life changes of packing up all of our shit and going on the road and kind of figuring it out as we go. That's the plan.
Right. And I'm just hoping that what it'll basically mean is that Sarah's going to have to get really relaxed about editing. She's going to be like, fuck it, I'm just putting it all together. I don't care anymore.
That's pretty much what's going to happen. So wherever we are, it's just kind of is what it is.
Yeah, you might have some ambient noise issues. It's pouring here in North Carolina right now, for example, and we don't know what's going to happen. But we are keeping this going, and we will still be putting out episodes with more regularity now that we've kind of both left our homes and are figuring out our shit.
Yeah, I mean, shit. I was in Mexico, and then I moved, and now I'm here.
Yes.
So, here we are. Here I am.
So yeah, let's talk about what's been going on in our lives. It's been I feel like I don't remember what the date was of our last episode, but I feel like it was.
It has to be early May. It's been a while. Yeah, you take a couple weeks off, you take a whole month off. So I think the last time we talked on air was early May. Yeah, and there goes the fridge behind me. So this is gonna be a fun one. So that was before I'd even decided I was gonna go to Mexico, I think. And then you were still packing up all of your shit. Was where we were.
So what happened? What's been on with you? You how was Mexico?
Well, okay. Before that, Master of None and I actually went out, and he has now met my best friend and her boyfriend, and I have met his best friend and his girlfriend. I want to say girlfriend. I don't know if it's her wife. I'm a shitty person. Fuck. I didn't know if they were married or not. They live on the farm together, but whatever. That I met his friends, and so that was good. So we finally got, after over a year of dating, we finally got that out of the way of meeting each other's closest friends.
You don't know if they're married or not? Like that didn't come up in any part of the conversation?
Not really. And I looked for a ring, and I didn't want to. That was one of the things. I just know their names, but I've never been like, oh, are they married? I just know they live together on a farm outside of Nashville. I'm not going to be like, oh, where's your ring? Or, oh, you're not married. I don't want to assume anything. So now I feel shitty for saying that, because maybe that just hasn't been brought up to me. And fuck, now I'm going to say his name because I haven't fucking said Master of None in so long. I almost slipped there. But Master of None's going to listen to this and be like, what the fuck, Sarah? What the fuck?
Yeah.
I thought I said that, but I really honestly don't remember right at this moment. But
anyways, how did the friend meet go? It went well?
So me meeting his friends went fine. I was actually right before I left to come to Florida. It was just a really quick dinner, nothing too long or anything, versus when it was him meeting my friends. We had a really early dinner on a Friday night, and then that continued drinking until 11 o'clock at her house. And it was just a longer time to get to know one another. So different circumstances there because they were trying to get back home, and also where his friends met us at was like not the greatest restaurant either. So we didn't have the best experience at this restaurant, but it was still nice meeting them regardless, and hopefully whenever I come back to Nashville, we'll all hang out again in different circumstances, and it'll just be normal.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And so, but it went well. You like his friends liked you.
I hope
His
he li I hope he liked
your friends liked him. He liked your friends.
yeah, I think everyone liked one another, so
That's
that
good.
was good. The only the only thing that Master of None and I got, we didn't get into a fight, but I had a moment of, "This really fucking pissed me off, and why did you have to do this?" Because we're going to a nice restaurant,
Right.
and, it's reopening, and I did my hair and wore this cute dress and was gonna wear heels until I realized my feet ain't ready for that, and he was like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna get dressed up too." So he comes over to my place and he's got his bag because he's gonna stay the night. So he's got all of his shit in his bag and he's wearing this t-shirt and jeans and sneakers, whatever. So I thought he was gonna come up to my apartment and change. But he put his bag up in my apartment and then said, "Okay, let's go." And in my head, I'm thinking, "You're really fucking wearing that to dinner? Fuck, you're really wearing that to dinner? Like, we're going to a nice place." But it didn't bother him. So I just chewed on it, you know? And then the shirt itself, I like the shirt, but it's very suggestive in nature. It's a girl. Have you seen the shirt? Have I showed you the
I think
photo
you
of the
described it to me, but I don't think I've seen it. So you'll have to describe it
It's
again. Well enough for people who are listening.
Yeah, so it's a white t-shirt with like a black it's just like a stamped photo on the shirt.
Okay.
And it's a woman who is experiencing pleasure. She's drooling and
Experiencing pleasure.
that's what Master None says. He's like, "Well, it's a pleasure thing." And someone is putting two fingers in her mouth and she's kind of drooling and it looks like she's enjoying herself. Well, every time he wears that shirt, whether it's around Nashville, doesn't matter the fucking grocery store, some old person gives him the dirtiest motherfucking look. And he's meeting my best friend for the first time, and I just want the impressions to be
Right.
smooth sailing. So I'm like, of all the shirts, I like that shirt, but fuck, why that shirt? So when he came back and he was like, "Is everything okay?" I was like, "Could you just fucking not wear that shirt to nice places? Like, just not that shirt." And we had a conversation about it. Not a big deal now looking back, but at the time I wanted to take cute photos and I wanted it to be this like special moment. And not that the shirt ruined that, but it was just kind of one of those. And then my best friend asked about the shirt and I just like, "Oh God, kill me." Not he had to wear that shirt. Sounds stupid. I know it's stupid, but at the time that was something that just irked me.
What wasn't it? If I remember correctly, wasn't it a better alternative than the other shirt he could have worn?
I don't he has a
Didn't
lot
you say that? Didn't you say there's another shirt that he was thinking of wearing or something that was?
He has another shirt that says "The cops aren't your friends" and there's a cop car on fire. So he's got that one in his fingers too. That, that's not always the best shirt to be wearing around town in certain areas.
Right. Right.
I don't remember I don't know. Can't remember the other shirts he had, but
Okay.
regardless, that was water under the bridge after that. And then yeah, shortly after we went to Mexico and I had heat exhaustion and he saw me throwing up for about 24 hours straight and we're still together after all of that. Like literally, yeah. So
No, that's impressive right there. Travel together, like a real travel. Because the last time you guys went to a cabin, but like traveling
right.
internationally, flying somewhere, and all that is a big. That's always a big thing.
Never done
So
that with a significant other ever. I think that's always been the quote unquote dream of mine to go internationally with a boyfriend and travel and do all of this. And when I booked the flight originally and the whole trip, I was going to just go by myself
right, right,
because I was meeting a friend who was actually in Mexico who said, "Come on down, I'm here for a couple more weeks, whatever." And then he said, "Oh, fuck it. It's very cheap, the flights are cheap, and everything else is good, then I'm gonna go too." So he decided to come after I had already planned to book it, which was fine. And actually, it was really nice that he was there. Um,
Are you guys good flight buddies? Like you guys fly together well?
Well, we didn't sit next to each other on every
Oh,
single I think we only sat next to each other once, and it was probably the shortest flight out of all the
oh, okay,
ones.
okay.
It took 3 flights to get to Mexico and 3 flights back.
Jesus.
So, yeah, we weren't on every single flight. He left me at the airport when we were getting back home, and he didn't have phone service, and he got off the plane before I did, and then they kind of split you in different directions, and he went one way and I went the other, and so we were separated, and I felt totally fucking lost because I was like, I feel like I'm gonna miss my flight. I don't know where the fuck he is. I can't get in contact with him. The number one rule is when you're with somebody else, just stay where the fuck you are until you
Right,
meet
stay
up
in
with them.
one spot. Yeah,
And he
yeah.
kept going, and that fucking, oh my God, I was so stressed because with all the rules regarding COVID and traveling too, I had to go back through security and then fill out another COVID thing as I'm rushing to try to figure out, I hope he's there. I don't even know where I'm at, whatever. And when I finally saw him, I was like, don't fucking do that again. Oh my God, I could have killed you. And he was like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. But yeah, we were fine. It makes it sound like I'm complaining a lot about everything that's happened recently, but those are
No,
the only things that have happened that I was like, oh, we just had a little riff there. But besides that, everything's been great. We enjoyed our time in Mexico and had a great time. And, you know, he helped me move all my shit into storage and we talk every day. So we're good.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't
Um, and something just happened with in the news that was kind of crazy related to your Mexico trip.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm happy you brought that up. So, literally this morning, my friend who's in Mexico right now just sent me an article. Master of None and I did a bioluminescence tour at a lagoon in Mexico, and it was something I really wanted to do. I thought it was cool as shit
Yeah,
because of the plankton when you swim in the water. Literally, it's really magical.
it's
And
a tour on like kayak, or are you actually swimming?
so you get in a boat and they
Okay.
boat you out to the middle of this lagoon and they have a setup kind of tent floating over the water. So you swim in the water at first and it's cool and whatever. And then you get into this really dark tent and obviously you do it at night. And in the tent is when everything is just magnified. So because it's pitch black in there, so you can really see everything is shimmery. It was really cool. But and the whole time being a Floridian, we get in the water and I turn to Master of None and I'm like, what kind of fucking predators are in this water? You know, it's brackish water. I'm thinking, oh, there could be sharks in here. And he kind
Yeah.
of said, "Yes, but that would be bad for business. And the water's safe. And there's a lot of other people out here too. So they'll probably stay away and we're probably fine." So I didn't really think much about it after that until today when my friend who's in Mexico sent me a story that literally like yesterday or a couple of days ago, these 2 girls were attacked by a fucking crocodile, and one girl's in a medically induced coma right now, and the other girl, the twin sister, punched the fucking crocodile, and I'm just like, what the fuck, you know? I
And
wouldn't
this
have
is the
done that
same lagoon, same tour.
fucking tour. The same fucking thing. We were just there 2 weeks earlier.
Crazy.
That and it was funny because Trevor, the friend who's in Mexico, he was like, "I don't know about this tour or whatever." And he's like, "So about that lagoon trip." I'm like, "Yeah, no shit. I'll never do that again." But
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
So they went on the tour in the dark, and then a crocodile just came in and.
It was lurking under the water and just fucking dragged her down, and she almost died from being
That is terrible.
yeah, from drowning. And then
Right.
the other twin sister punched the fucking crocodile in the face and
Which is
released her, I guess.
crazy, by the
Which
way.
is also fucking insane.
Yeah, yeah.
Story I saw in Daily Mail and the BBC News covered it that I saw on Instagram today too. It's just insane, and I wish them well. You know, I hope they get well because it seemed like such a safe, chill place too. The water was so calm, everything was so peaceful and nice that I just can't imagine. It's just crazy to me, and that's one of their big things for tourism where we were
Oh
in
yeah,
Puerto
yeah.
Escondido. That was their big tour besides doing surfing lessons or doing like a turtle release thing, and that was the one I wanted to do the most. But anyway, yeah, just wild. I've been kind of shook about that all day thinking about that story.
So did they say anything about predators when like the guides, or do they talk about
Oh,
anything?
just yeah, this water is so safe. Like they just kept when we booked it and everything too. They're like, it's a beautiful tour, super safe, the water, whatever. They didn't say anything about yeah, stay close to the boat because of whatever. And then I was thinking, well, in Wakaiva Springs in Orlando, for example, there was a woman
Right.
who had I don't know why I'm going on this gator crocodile tangent, but here we are. There was a woman who I believe maybe 5-6 years ago, she had her arm bitten off at Wekiva
Yes.
Springs because she was paddling by the lily pads, or she was just floating out there and she was further away from everyone else, and it fucking got her arm and then,
Yeah.
attacked Wekiva Springs or Wekiva Island. What is a similar area? But then I was thinking, well, at least we were close to the group. And then I thought about the tent where we were at, where everything got magnified. I'm like, no, we were pretty much just the two of us out there just chilling. There was no one, the people, the guides aren't going to fucking jump in the water and save you. They're not fucking going to save you,
So when you guys were in the tent, it was just the two of you? It wasn't like the big group?
would go in and out, but there was a moment where it was just kind of us just swim, and it's a big tent thing that was floating in the water, but there were times where there was maybe 2-3 people max in there, and then bigger groups would go in, but still it's not like we were always close to people all the time. We weren't far from the boat, but we weren't, I don't know, I don't know, I wouldn't have done it now. Thinking about that,
Right.
and Master None and I joked it would be bad for business if something happened, and we're like, shit, fuck. So,
well,
but
that is insane.
luckily, besides that, I was joking with my friend Trevor. I'm like, well, besides the heat exhaustion and having fucking explosive diarrhea after coming back, at least crocodile didn't fucking attack me either. I've just been struggling getting back. So, but I'm happy to be at a stable area now, and everything is seemingly back to normal.
Well, thank you for sharing your gastrointestinal distress with us as well.
Didn't drink motherfucking water either. If anyone wants to know, I didn't drink the fucking water.
Right.
So that's it. If you want to come to Mexico, feel free to ask me.
So now you are out of Nashville. You are in Florida, and then you're going to travel for a little bit. And is Master Adam going to join you, or you're going to join him as well?
So he's planning on coming down here in a couple weeks to spend some time here, so that'll be nice. And then we are looking at apartments to move in together in Nashville. So he's we toured a couple before I left, and then he toured a couple today, and he was like, these are shit. So he's the pickier one when it comes to picking apartments than I am. I'm like, cool, is the rent cheap? Is it in an okay area? But he looks at it as, okay, well, what's the internet service provider? What's the kitchen look like? What about the parking situation? And I'm like, oh, you're a grown adult. And I'm just a child who goes, well, how much does it cost? I'm stupid. So I'm just like, you're the responsible one. You tell me what you want. So I have a couple that I like, but ultimately I don't super, super care. It's kind of really up to him. So
yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see when that happens. Probably sometime in August, depending on having to go back into the office and things like that, what that timeline might look like. But yeah.
Right. So, but for now, you're going to try to be a nomad for as long as possible.
As long as I fucking can be, I'm going to try to take after you and be a nomad too.
There we go.
Keep us on the road. We're not touring anywhere, but we're just on the road.
I know it is too bad that we're not like doing this in a type of coordinated way where we're doing daily kind of suck shows and stuff. But I feel like we'll be able to do that at some point in the future. That'll be a potential, maybe. So.
When you were packing up all your shit, what was the craziest thing that you found that you sold or threw away that you couldn't? I know you mentioned stories that you had written to your ex-wife or little letters.
Yeah, little notes and stuff. Well, we put that on the Patreon episode too, which I think I uploaded to Patreon. I might not have actually, now that I think about it. Did I? I don't remember.
I don't know.
Oh, it has been such a the last month has been such a brain melting clusterfuck for me. I found just a lot of really weird shit. I had a bunch of stuff that my parents had left with me because they couldn't fit it in their car when they went to Utah. So I just have this Tupperware stuff that now I'm bringing to them now because I'm like, I don't want this shit, But like weird things like the christening dress that my mother wore, that now that like some of my cousins wore, I don't know. And like this giant cross that was that I think my grandmother gave to my mother at some point. Weird things like that. I found a lot of old photos of mine. I found notes that I wrote to Amy back when we were like married, and even when we were dating in law school and stuff like that. I found there was something that I was like,
crazy sex toys or.
No, those were all out. Those were I knew were all.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Those were never hidden anywhere. No, but oh, I did. I found a stack of photos, nude photos that I shot that when I was like 18.
Year? Oh, 18.
Yes, I think you saw. Did I sent you at least with
I
the
hope you didn't. I
not the
don't
non-nude one. I sent you the one that was non-nude, right? Didn't I?
think, maybe, I don't know.
Oh yeah, like so I was like 18 and I set up my timer and I took a bunch of like just self nudes, which shows that I've always been an exhibitionist because I had to get those printed at like the local Walgreens or whatever, and I was
Oh
just
my
having some
God, you're
problems.
right. Fuck.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of them. There's like 15 or 20 of them that I took of, and they're like casual. Like I was doing a photo shoot. Like at one point, I'm just like I have a shirt on, no pants, and I'm like jerking off. You know, like not like
Someone
it's a
at
photo.
fucking Walgreens or whatever had
Right.
to develop that fucking. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
and I'm just sitting there like casually like looking away while my dick is in my hand, and it's so weird that I did those. That I set the timer for the camera to shoot that photo, you know. So yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. And the best thing I can say about that is, man, I really needed to learn how to manscape. There was some crazy man bush going on there
I
with
never want to see any of those photos
18-year-old
ever.
me. I'll once I find them again, I'll send them to you. Um,
Great.
but that was the weirdest thing. I completely had forgotten all about those until I found those, and I was like, yeah, well, I guess that just shows that I have always been a complete exhibitionist in every way that the word is used. So, and it's been crazy. The last few weeks was all trying to set up for a garage sale and trying to get it all ready and sell everything, and then whatever I didn't sell, trying to either put in storage or throw away, and just like all of that was just, I mean, it was exhausting. I was so much, I was getting so little sleep, and I was so exhausted with everything. The last day that I left, I woke up at 3 a.m. because I still had pulled the nail holes out of the nails out of the walls because that was like it was still a thing on my to-do
It was
list.
the last thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so I woke up at 3 a.m. that day and started pulled all the nails out till like 6 a.m. Took me 3 hours of doing that throughout the whole house.
What?
Yeah, because I mean they've been living there for 11 years, and people, people had hung, there'd been stuff hanging all over the, in all the bedrooms and everything, and then
Yeah.
then started cleaning everything up, and just trying to get everything out that was going to go to garbage, and the guy that was coming to pick up the junk and all that, and I worked until like 2 in the afternoon, and then finally hit the road, and I only made it to like I think like Brunswick, Georgia. I think I made it like 3 hours, and I was like, I'm done. Like I just need to go to bed. Like I need to just. And so I stopped. I found an ale house that was not. It wasn't a Miller's Ale House. It was called a Two Cans Ale House. It was a shitty little bar, terrible place. Had a couple drinks, then went back to the hotel and just fucking crashed for the night. But one funny thing is that my bed was the last thing they get moved out of the house. Um, Codenamed Tinkerbell, and her new boyfriend. They bought a lot of. Came over that day and bought a lot of my furniture, including the bed and everything too, because they needed a bed. And we pull the bed away. I was gone actually, running to the storage unit, and I come back and they pulled the bed away and they were taking it apart or whatever. And behind my headboard, my headboard's been there for 10 years, was a giant hole in the drywall, like a giant hole. Like, and I was like, well, that is just from like years of sex.
Sex.
Yeah, years of sex, I guess. But like, it wasn't like it was like the headboard shape. It was a head shaped hole. So it wasn't like a rectangle. It was an actual. And I was like, how does that even happen? Like,
Yeah, that if it was part of the headboard into the wall, that
yeah,
would make a lot more sense to
yeah.
me.
It was definitely not. It was definitely part like just from, yeah, from just head being smacked into the headboard in one spot. I guess with some
But
force.
was the headboard damaged?
Not in any way. So it somehow transmitted through the headboard back to the
Your big head?
I don't know, it was I don't know who, I don't know.
That's wild.
I have no idea. Although it was funny because when I was thinking about that, I think I was like, who have I had like the maybe the most raucous sex with? And it probably was Tinkerbell. So like probably was something that happened with she and I there would be my guess if I had to pick. But that was just funny, and that was one thing I was really like annoyed with because otherwise the house was pretty much pristine by the time I left it, and I
God
had to
damn it, Adam. You had to have sex in that house.
email the
Damn.
landlord. Had to, yeah, and I had to say, so, I didn't see this until the very last minute. I didn't have time to fix it. I apologize. I'm sure it'll be coming out of my security deposit, but the rest of
Yeah.
the house is much solid. At one point, I found a box of just random CDs that I was like, I don't want these. And the junk guy had already come and taken all the junk away. And it was just like, I was like, I don't know what to do with these. So I just I went into my master closet and I just hid it up in the top, like above a shelf, like pushed it all the way in the back of the shelf. Just like, there's a box of CDs for whoever finds it. Like, I don't think the landlord will find it. I think at some point, like, so whoever buys the house will be like putting stuff up there and be like, oh, there's a box of CDs up here. Cause I was just like, I'm done with this, And I realized I left my grill. I was going to try to sell it. And I completely forgot that the grill was just sitting in the backyard. So the grill is just sitting there still. And so yeah, I it was such a clusterfuck by the time I left the whole area. But I was ready. Like I was like, I just want to get out of here. I packed my car like fucking Tasmanian devil, like just throwing shit in the car. And as long as I could see out the windows, that's all that mattered. And like so when I hit the road after this month being here, I'm definitely going to repack some things very like in a more efficient, intelligent manner because I can't find anything right now either.
Mm. So before you left though, going back to dating for a second, even though all of that is very exciting. Before you left, was it Tinder Passport that you did, or was there another app that you downloaded to swipe in this
Yes.
area, the
Yeah, no,
area that you're in
I
now?
paid for Tinder Passport, and so I actually had been swiping and chatting with people as well, which has been fun. Oh, and another thing, actually, Little BLT was scheduled to come over my last weekend in Florida, and we are gonna hang out on a Sunday that Sunday, and she had the weekend off, so she was going to visit one of her girlfriends for the weekend, and then come to see me on Sunday. And Sunday afternoon, I had heard from her, and I was like, I'm really kind of worried about her. And I didn't actually end up hearing from her till Monday, when she apologized, and she was like, she and her friend got apparently really, really fucked up to the point that she had just managed to sleep through the entire day of Sunday.
Oh,
And
damn. Okay.
and I do think that part of that was probably psychological, if I had to guess, was that she wanted to see me before I left. But one reason we kind of slowed down was because she was very worried. She's still going through divorce and everything, and she was worried about being too attached too quickly. And we did get along really well. And so my guess is probably that subconsciously, when she's out there with her friends, she was almost like not
Well, it was
trying to do.
also not that she didn't like you, but what was the point?
Well,
What
it's
was
yeah.
no offense to you or not to shit on
Hey,
you, but when you're leaving and you're not that close with some people, or it was pretty sexual in nature, or what, even though it wasn't for you, but
I mean, it was mostly. I mean, but we talked a lot though. We still continue to talk quite a bit even after. So
mm,
it was,
okay.
yeah. I mean, it would have been nice to see her, but I also could see her maybe just not wanting to then feel disappointed that I was leaving too. Like that type of thing.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
But I mean, it would have been nice to have her come over for the night, maybe have a little sexual activity. But it didn't happen. That's okay. I understood. Um, and then yeah, here I'm on Tinder. Not that I don't know why, but I am. Like it's just one of those things. I was like,
I was
I'm
gonna say, where's your next stop after where you're at now?
Tennessee. I'll be right outside Nashville.
Of course, you're gonna be in
Yeah,
Tennessee.
yeah. But yeah, I just thought it might be fun to maybe at least meet a couple people, and maybe I'll get some new
Yeah.
listeners to the podcast as well. So I had matched with somebody, and the problem with where I am, it's a very small town, is that most people are at least a half hour away, because most of them are in like Asheville or one of the surrounding towns, because this is a very small town. But she happens to live in the small town, which is only like, it takes 5 minutes to get down the mountain actually. So after you get down the mountain, then it's like only 5 minutes away. And so we were chatting, and just I was like, well, why don't we meet up for a drink? And she was like, oh yeah, I'm down. So we found a restaurant in downtown Waynesville, which is this like little tiny strip of downtown. It's so small. And met up at the bar there and had drinks. And it was funny because she said that I have my social media handles on my dating profile, and she looked me up and told her friends, "Oh, this is who I'm going to see, by the way, just for safety purposes." And one of her friends like, "Oh, I follow him on TikTok." So that was
I approve. Yeah, we're good.
that's pretty
You'll
pretty
be fine.
pretty funny that she already followed me on TikTok. So that was I found that entertaining. And we had a good time. It was really nice. Like we met up at like I think like 6:45, and we were there till the restaurant closed. Everything in Waynesville closed at 9 p.m. By the way, so we were there till
Oh my
yeah.
God. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Don't belong.
Oh, I know. I was like, I found the one bar that's actually open till 2 a.m. It's like this little watering hole. That's where everybody goes when all the other bars close. So that's good. At least I know where that one is, so I can go there if I need to get out at night. But it was great. Like we had a great conversation. It was nice talking to her. She was, I think, very happy to find somebody who was not ultra conservative and Christian. And that was
Yeah, makes sense.
that's been difficult because in surrounding areas like Asheville is actually very liberal. Like it's amazing on Tinder. Almost half the accounts I find are people who are like, "Oh, ethically non-monogamous," or "I'm poly," or "I'm an open relationship," and they're all like dyed hair and tattoos and very very alternative. And so I think that but Waynesville is very much a, you know, there's still Trump
There's
signs up.
10 pictures of Jesus in your
Yes.
grandparents' bedroom. So I think that says it all right there.
Pictures and statues. And but so she was, I think I was glad to find somebody who was a little bit on her wavelength. So we had a great time. Like, just talked about a bunch of stuff and just drank and had fun. It was really nice. And she was like, "Yeah, I'll let you know next time I'm doing something with my friends down here. Maybe you come join us. We do trivia night sometimes." I was like, "Yeah, that'd be fun. Just a little, just so I don't go 100% insane because you
Yeah,
know, I am sitting up in a cabin alone in the mountains writing a book surrounded by Jesus statues. Like I feel like that's part of a recipe for going completely batshit crazy while I write this book. So every now and then being able to go into town and socialize with human beings would be a good thing.
I agree with that. Yeah, now that I have really nothing to do and I'm all by myself, I'm thinking, should I drive to see other friends that I know are in Florida, or do I just chill here and just take it all in? A little bit of both, but I get what you mean.
Yeah, yeah. Because it is. I mean, I don't want too much socialization. I like not doing too much, but it is. It's nice to have a relaxing day. Like today, I just went grocery shopping, and I was like, "Oh, that's enough for the day. I don't need to do." I mean, I worked, but I was like, "I don't need to do like any other socialization. I don't want to see more people." So, but
Well, good.
yeah,
You're
and I think
settling in fine, and you might go on other dates across the country.
I don't know about cross country. I think like here for a month, but then every other place I plan on being maybe for a week, maybe two, which makes things a little harder to try to figure out meeting
And you're
people.
not focused on that. You're focused on writing your book.
Writing the book, yeah. So I mean, it also depends on how much I get done with that, and then I can see if I get that done, then I have complete free time to do whatever the fuck I want, and then I'll probably just become a little bit of a whore.
Don't fucking get a hole behind the wall of the
Yeah,
bed on your
God.
grandparents'
Oh my God, I cannot
bedroom.
imagine that. Yeah, like this
They'll never
bedroom.
know until they move out. So I mean,
Well,
then you'll also
I mean, my grandmother's dead. My grandfather will die before he ever comes back here like he'll never be in here again. But other family members would probably see it and notice it.
they know it was you too.
No, they absolutely would know it was me.
Well, you're the only one in the house that doesn't have a photo. All your other cousins and family members have a
Yeah,
photo in the house, and you're the black
everybody.
sheep. What the
Hell
fuck?
yeah, all my cousins have photos. There's photos of everybody there except me. So I'm gonna go print one up and I'm gonna put it in front of one of the Jesus pictures. I think.
Do the one of the you posing no shirt with your dick out. Just put it in a
Just put
frame.
that.
You honestly should. Just to fuck with them.
uh,
Like it's
well,
been there forever. Old frame. Mix it with an older frame that's
with an
there.
older friend. Oh my God, that'd be hilarious. I did. I brought the photo of me and the tub of bacon with me. All my other photos got put in storage because it's become such a theme on TikTok because it's one of those things where I would do these TikToks and then everybody would always ask about the photo behind me. Oh, what are you in? What are you in? Are you in? Is that
What is
beef?
that? Yeah.
And so I'd have to reply, "Oh, that's bacon." So then I became a thing where after every TikTok video I do now, I just pointed it and I was like, "And this is bacon," and I thought it had to come with me. So now I have it behind me everywhere when I do TikToks. But I could just leave that here, just hanging on the wall. But I think I need to bring it with me anyway. So, but I
It's
did.
part of your gig now.
Yeah, it's part of the whole thing. But I do think I want to replace one of the Jesus photos with a photo of like Jared Leto or something like that, or Ewan McGregor, with his long hair as and just see if anyone notices that it's not Jesus. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Maybe yes, maybe no.
It depends on how crazy I go while I'm here. I might just decide to do all types of shenanigans.
Why not go
Um,
find that?
yeah.
Speaking of shenanigans, we will get back to the shenanigans of this week's episode, which is the fallacy of the friend zone. You ready to take a
Yes.
break when we get back? Yeah.
Yes, we will be. We'll be back in a minute, and then we'll be getting into the topic of the day. So the reason I wanted to revisit the friend zone. Now we did this as an episode a couple years ago, and I think it's actually an important topic that is still comes up, and it's because of TikTok actually that I want to talk about this.
Another TikTok episode.
I know.
Thanks to Adam.
Well, TikTok has become like there's a whole community of people there, and I post videos about talking about dating and relationships, and every time the friend zone comes up, not just in my videos, but anytime I see a woman talk about it, the comments are filled with men who are complaining about it and talking about it in a way that makes it feel like they blame women and that they like somehow it's women's fault for this whole idea of the friend zone. And so I think it's important for us to talk about because we need to help maybe men get out of this mindset and maybe also help women realize if they are about to enter a situation that might be a friend zone, and like that type of thing, and that it is a completely fictional thing. There's no such thing as being like stuck in a friend zone. You don't get put in a friend zone.
Yeah.
You are someone's friend or you're not. Like, and that's really the extent of it. And the fact that it becomes this, oh well, it's all of a sudden you missed your chance and now you're just a friend.
Well, yeah,
Is
because you didn't kiss her on the first time you met her. You didn't make a move and you didn't strike when the iron was hot. Then now you're in this zone, just waiting for your next chance, just sitting there idly floating along. Like, what the fuck is that?
Exactly. And it comes also from a lot of these guys who are like, well, how come she always tells me that, like she and I will go out, we'll watch our favorite TV shows together, and then,
And
we'll go out for drinks, and then she'll always tell me about these guys and how terrible they are, and how it'd be so nice if someone was like me, if like, oh, it'd be so much easier if guys were more like me, but she won't date me.
if she wanted you, she would date you. She
Exactly.
would say, hey, I think I'm interested in you. Let's change the dynamic of our relationship. But until she does that, she doesn't fucking want you. And
That
you
is
shouldn't hold on to
right.
that.
Yep. And that's where this whole concept, this whininess of like these guys who think because that she's there with them and she's sharing these things with these discussions with them, that they're somehow owed a like sexual relationship in exchange. That's the problem. The problem isn't the woman talking to them. It's the problem of the guy who thinks that this is what he's doing is okay.
Well, it's just a transactional relationship of if I'm kind enough to her down the road, then eventually she's going to sleep with me.
She's gonna see my value and she's gonna suck my dick. Yeah. And
I mean, and I know from this topic is brought to you by TikTok. I know from my TikTok, all guys want is fucking water or beer or head. So some kind of liquid and then head. So
kind of drink in head.
which is a transactional. The reason why I was hesitant to do this topic, because now that I'm grown, I'm not 30 yet, but now that I'm not a teenager anymore, I don't really think of this as a topic anymore because I felt like I heard this term a lot more when I was in high school and early college from guys or girls going, "Oh, he thinks he's in the friend zone, blah blah blah." But now as I've grown up, I don't hear that phrase anymore. And maybe that's just who I surround myself with, but I would like to think that maybe my circle or the people I hang out with, or in general everyone matures, and the friend zone is just this thing that everyone just clings on to in high school and early college. But apparently, based off of your experience, that's not the case, which is why I'm like, well, fuck. I mean, everyone's done shitty things and been like, oh, he's my friend, blah blah blah. But you grow out of that, don't you?
You would hope so. You would hope so. You'd hope that people would learn. And I think that that's really what we're trying to maybe break down is why do you still think this is a real thing? How can you be an adult and still think this is a real thing? It's one thing it is one thing in high school when you are maybe you're still trying to figure out how to approach people, how to communicate, things
How
like
to be
that.
friends with the opposite
Yeah,
sex if you're
yeah,
attracted to the opposite sex.
exactly.
Get your aim, so to speak.
Yes, but once you become an adult, this shouldn't still be an issue. It really shouldn't, and it's so like frustrating to think that there are actual adult men who are whining about being friend zoned, as if it's something normal, and it's not. It's
Well, okay. Look at the friend zone. If you right now you're in a friend zone and you want to get out of it, it's a really simple fucking solution, really. You
Yep.
just communicate with the other person, "Hey, I think I have feelings for you. What do I really enjoy spending time with you. I'd like to just do something just the two of us in a more intimate setting or actually take you out on a date. What do you think about that?" And then you let the other person respond, just knowing that it could change the dynamic of your friendship moving forward. But if that's something you really feel strongly about, then you take that risk and you shoot your shot and you ask, "Hey, how do you feel about this with our friendship?" If that if you're not willing to do that and all you're gonna do is fucking bitch and complain until one day she fucking magically wakes up and realizes you're the one for her, you shouldn't be your fucking friend in the first place. Do you treat your other friends as a transaction of you only hang out with this buddy because he pays for your beers, or you only hang out with this person because they do such and such for you, or with the hopes of getting like it's like fucking it makes me think of investment bros of this is a
Right.
I'm just gonna put more time, energy, and money in this, and hopefully my return goes to the motherfucking moon, with other friendships and with women. And
Yep.
it's saying it like out loud like that is just so fucked. And people might not admit that they actually think like that, but deep down, that's how they're acting.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
If you are friends with someone because you are thinking that at some point they're going to reward you, you are not really their friend. You're not being a genuine friend. You are being a bad person to to that woman. And there's a meme that I saw that it was something like the friend zone is not real. What there is the fuck zone. And just imagine being a woman who thinks that you have a great male friend who you can rely on and talk to about these
Mm-hmm.
things. And all it turns out is that he just wants to fuck you. And then he treats you like he gets mad and angry when you won't have sex with him. And you just realize that you've been fuck zoned. And I was like, that's a
Damn.
more appropriate phrase because that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's these guys who become friends literally because they aren't mature adult enough to just say, "Hey, I want to go out with you." They don't have the balls just to be like ask someone out. So they are hoping to slide in there through like through like a just a like an exception through a corollary. Just be like, "Oh, well, no, we just became friends and it just kind of happened." Well, no, it doesn't. There are always exceptions. Absolutely, there are always exceptions. My affair actually happened entirely because of that. We were just friends, and one time I was so annoyed with her that I didn't talk to her, and she realized that that friendship was maybe suspect, and she realized she was in love with me, and it was something like out of a movie, and
But
it
that's
was
what people want to fucking
right,
happen. That's what they think is going to happen. You can't go in with that expectation
right,
when you're trying to be friends with somebody. It
and
just,
yeah, and it wasn't healthy what we ended up doing.
oh,
Obviously, we had an
absolutely
affair and
not.
all that stuff, but it did happen where we were friends, and then that happened. But that is so rare, and how it turned out in the long run was like it was not a good idea. It was not for the best, anyways. Um, if you like someone, ask them out. If they say no, then you can decide to be their friend if you like them enough just to be their friend, but don't expect that that's going to lead to anything else. Or you can just walk away, and that's okay too.
So in the circumstance of, let's say, this is just me thinking out of my ass right now. So say you're on Tinder,
Yep.
you match with a couple people, you go out with someone, you're really not that interested, but like say me for example, but I like them as a person and I could actually see us being friends. And
Yep.
you say, "Hey, I don't really think this date worked out, romantically in that way, but I really do enjoy spending time with you. I think you're great. Let's hang out as friends down the road." If he feels the same way, then he goes, "Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
Perfect, great." But if he has a slight tingle of, "Oh, but I still kind of want to fuck her," and then says yes anyways, you're in the wrong.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that's him
Because you
being
have
shitty.
there's underlying intentions of, hopefully we'll see where I'm not ruled out yet.
Yeah.
She likes me for something. So
Right.
maybe we
Right.
can continue this and see what happens. I'm not saying that happens to everybody, but I'm just thinking of a made up example of I could see that happening.
Yes.
And because you met on a dating app, there was the expectation of, well, was this a date or not? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Even though she clearly stated, hey, after the first date, not really my thing romantically, but I think you're a cool person. Let's hang out
Yep.
as friends. And he would say he got friend zoned
Yes.
if they continue to hang out and he slightly
And
had.
like, yeah, and then all of a sudden he makes a move, and she's like, "No, I don't like you like that," and then wants to, and then dates other people, and he's like, "What?" He's so confused.
I
That's
think
on
that's
him.
how it starts. Honestly, that's how it starts. I don't see it happening in a big group of friends of, oh, maybe. I don't
No, I
know.
mean, I would say a lot of times it happens with people just somehow meeting in some way, and they just like I mean, I've had people where I kind of, I asked them out, we actually went out to do something, and then it became very clear when we were out that they didn't see that as anything other than just like two friends hanging out. And so then I had to decide, well, okay, am I okay with that, or do I, And so I was like, okay, I'm fine with that. I don't need to, and so let me just be their friend. I've had that.
The other way of, hey, actually, I'm not fine with that. I would prefer to actually date you. Then you just have to fucking cut your losses and keep it going.
Right, and then that's the adult thing to do.
Right.
I mean, now when I was in high school, my best friend, like I remember she and I would hang out, and I told her that I wanted to date her, and she said that she thought it would ruin our friendship, and which is that classic line. And at that point, I could have just
She's playing me. That's
right.
the background thought, I guess.
Well, yeah, but in her mind, I think it was true. She just really liked our friendship, and so I could have at that point walked away, but I made the choice to stay with her. And I never felt bitter about the fact that she started dating other people, because she and I are still close friends to this day. It was a decision to be like, all right, well then we will just be friends,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with that. You have to be okay with that being the end all be all. Now, why does this happen? Now, I think that while it's yes, we can say that the guys who get in this and then whine about it are just pathetic. Like there's a whole level of just patheticness that you have to own up to if you get sucked into this and you start whining about it. But how do you get in there in the first place? I don't think that all men are maliciously trying to be friends with someone to bang them. I think it's just it's a it's a
Right.
just a different. I think men and women are friends in different ways. Male friends, for the most part, like male friends with other men, are they're not they don't have an intimacy with each other. They don't have it's a very much a kind of standoffish type friendship. They might there might be obviously play sports together, et cetera, things like that. But they're not they don't have the same type of friendship that most women have with other women.
Hmm.
Like when you and your
There's
best
still a
friend.
personal element that they keep. I feel like with my girlfriends, there's everything's on the table, where
Right.
men keep
Well, like you
some
guys,
things.
you guys might be like, "Hey, The Bachelor's on. Let's go watch The Bachelor," and like you just guys sit up on the couch together and and eat food and talk about whatever and watch TV together. Like it's a thing, right? And like like that could be you guys, and but that has an intimacy that if that was a woman and a man doing that, for the woman, it's just that's what friends do. For the
Right.
man, it's like, oh, we're sitting on the like we're doing an intimate thing.
We're watching a movie or a
We're
show late
watching
at
a movie,
night,
and we might
drinking
actually
wine together.
there might be physical contact even. Like you might just be like, hey, sit on the couch with each other, or you're chilling with each other, and there's physical contact between women who are friends that doesn't happen with men. And so men do get their signals, like they don't understand that, oh, this is just friendship. For a woman, this is just friendship. For a man, it's like, oh, she's giving me signals that she's into me. And
Mm.
that's I think where a lot of the miscommunication comes, because the man wasn't adult enough to be openly communicative about his interest in the first place.
Right, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I want to go back to your other point when you were saying he feels bitter. If you're feeling bitter about how your friendship is because it's not going the way you want, one, like we already said, it's not really a friendship. And two, you need to just get out of that. You
Right.
need to stop being friends with it. It's not a true friendship. It was never. There was always. So, my example, and this was in Nashville, but I thought, I mean, we fooled around, so that was also my mistake. But I had a friend in Nashville who was friends with a guy that I dated the detective, and he was Jeremy. I'm just gonna say his fucking name. We haven't talked in years. Jeremy. I don't give a shit. Jeremy was friends with the detective. I was like, yeah, it didn't work out with the detective and I, but I really liked his friend group. So I used to hang out. I hung out. I took fucking Bumble profile pictures for him, and we would go out for drinks or whatever. And I would text him late at night because, like, I'm off work and I'm done with working out, and I'm texting him late at night. But he kept getting upset that I'm only texting him late at night. I just want to fuck. No, I just want to text late at night because sorry, I'm texting you at 10 o'clock at night. That doesn't mean anything. I'm not saying, oh, come over, whatever. There were times I'm like, hey, it's 9 o'clock. Do you want to come over and chill at my place? But the signals were not there. And of course, I'm lonely and I acted on certain things. He was like, well, what about a relationship? And I'm like, we're not doing that. But it was, a mistake. But we lost a friendship over those things. And I don't know if that was because he thought we could have more than what I thought, and he thought I was using him, and there were some underlying issues already with like him being in a breakup. But that was my situation of like I didn't friend zone him. We were already we never started off dating in the first place. We were always just friends. And then mistakes were made.
Right.
And I tried to say, no, this is what I want, whatever. And then it was like the offense. He was just offended that I kept texting him late at night or whatever. And I'm like, I would do that with any of my other friends too. I text my other friends at 10 o'clock at night. I go to bed at fucking 10:30. I'm just finishing up my fucking day.
Right.
I don't know what to tell you. But it was shit like that where I'm like, damn, I was like, did I friend zone him? And I'm like, no, I was just fucking being me. I made a mistake. I should have never made out with you and invited you over that one time, but we talked about it, but I still felt like the guilty one.
And you weren't. You shouldn't have felt the guilt out of that.
Yeah.
Because you talked about it. You talked about it when you made the mistake and it happened. You were like, talked about, oh, yeah, this isn't really what I want.
It's fun. Don't get me wrong. It was fun.
But
It's
then you were like,
attractive and
let's be
whatever,
friends.
but
And he was like,
I
okay.
wasn't there. He wasn't there. I was like, maybe in the future we could revisit this, but like, I like you as a person. Like, you're cool as fuck, But I invited him to a company party and he was my plus one. So everyone thought we were dating. Like, there were those underlying things of, no, we're just friends.
Yeah.
But on the outside looking in, people probably thought we were together, but that wasn't the reality. We were just
It
cool.
doesn't matter what people think from the outside anyway.
I totally agree, but maybe those things were playing into his thought process of what we could be. I don't know. It was a weird couple months situation, but
And I think it all could have been obviously solved with open communication completely, right? Where
I did my best, but there's a level of when two people aren't on the same page with their expectations, you can't talk with someone who can't rationalize with you.
Right.
If they won't get on your level of, hey, this is how I'm feeling, and they're making all these other like insane, outlandish things that happen that didn't really happen or how they're feeling, I'm like, I can't rationalize with this. I can't have a conversation with you. I guess we just don't talk anymore,
Yeah, which is unfortunate, but that also can be the best end to those things sometimes in those situations. Is if he wants something that he's not going to get, then rather than just trying to string you along or try to just pretend, it's better for him to get away from it too.
Yeah.
But I don't think you let him on either, and that's a big part of it. Like I said, I think there's a mixed signals issue that happens with men and women, and so then women are just like, no, this is how my friends are. This is what my friendship is like. We call, we chat, whatever, and hang out, and you're like, these are things that you do with your friends.
We're not maliciously trying to do these things to fuck you over. It's not like I was texting him late at night to be like, oh, I'm going to fuck with his feelings because I'm a cunt.
Right.
That was never
exactly.
in my mind, but that's what at least he thought was, oh my God, this fucking manipulative ass bitch is just trying to fucking lure me in and get me all, I don't know, send me mixed signals and whatever. And I'm like, no, I wasn't. I was just doing my thing. I don't know.
Well, and that's where the other aspect of it comes into is the idea that then these men become friends with women with trying to fuck them. The woman will not fuck them, and then they get mad and say, well, you led me on. You led me on by being my friend, basically, is what it is.
Well, you're delusional, motherfucker. Right. What else do you want me to say?
And then they'll say that they manipulated. Well, they let me buy things for them, or they let me do things. Like, what do you mean they let you buy things?
You did that on your own accord. Shut the fuck up.
Who's gonna say no? If I'll tell you what. If I'm hanging out with guy friends and I've got one guy friend who has money and he wants to buy shit for all of us, I'm gonna be okay with that. Like, whatever. Yeah, let's just you go ahead, dude. That's cool. And like, it's one of those things where if you were thinking in your mind, once again, this is transactional in nature, I'm buying things for her, she has to suck my dick eventually.
You're in the wrong.
Yeah,
if that's your thought process,
you are in the wrong. Yeah. Because like, even if she is aware of how you feel about her, and she may or may not be, she's not just telling you anything. She's not explicitly telling you, hey, if you buy me these things, I'll make it up to you later, and you know what I mean. Like she's not ever saying that. No one has ever said that and then been like, oh, they had that whole friend zone thing happen. That doesn't happen.
And probably she's not, because this is the other narrative, is 9 times out of 10 she's not thinking. Maybe there are some people who have done this to get, what they want in terms of someone buying them things. I'm not saying that's not the reality in some percentage, but
Yeah.
nine times out of 10 when the guy is, paying for shit or whatever, she's not thinking, oh, this poor sap, I'm getting all this shit for free and I'm not paying for anything. She's just going, oh, he wanted to pay. That's great. Cool.
Yeah.
I'll get the next round, or whenever, I don't have to, he doesn't want to pay, then I'll pay for, because you're fucking friends, or I'll Venmo his ass back or whatever.
Right.
9 times out of 10, I get there could be a small percentage of women who are like, oh, this poor sap, I'm going to fucking milk this shit for all it's worth. But then both people are fucking wrong, and it's not a friendship to begin with.
That's the thing. It's not a friendship to begin with. And in those situations, if a woman looks at this guy who's like, oh, he's madly in love with me, he'll do whatever I want. So I'm gonna let him buy me dinner, blah blah. Once again, if he just communicated early, I'd like to take you out, and she had said no, he would have walked away. But because he didn't do that, then he is trying to manipulate her into this, this idea of trying to buy her friendship and eventually have her realize he's a great guy. So is she really in the wrong for just being like, all right, I'm gonna take advantage of that? Like if that's what he wants to do.
It's not the greatest situation to.
I don't have a problem with it. I really don't. Like I think in our society, and given that we have the society where men have, it's a male dominated society, it's a patriarchal society that defends men, promotes men, gives more advantage to men, has men have more privileges, all of these things. That if a woman's like able to take advantage of a male centric system and and in that situation, more power to her. Like I don't.
So he's playing checkers and she's playing chess, pretty much.
Basically, basically is what it is, and it's just because I mean, if he's still,
it's not a friendship though. It's not a relationship, and it's not a friendship, and those two things should be. Both parties should realize that. I think that's the fallacy of all this is, oh, well, we're friends. Are you fucking really? Because look what you guys have actually been doing. If you know in your head this isn't really a friendship and he's paying for stuff, and if you're that, that small percentage of people that are like, I'm playing chess when he's playing checkers type of thing, going in, he's not really your fucking friend to begin with.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and then there's obviously no friend zone at all. That's just that's just this. If a guy wants
sugar daddy, then
basically, and there's no promises. That's the thing too, is that if men weren't thinking with their dick in the first place, like that's where the origin of the problem is. It's not with however the woman decides to respond to the situation. It starts with the guy thinking with his dick. How do I get laid? What are the things I can do to get laid?
Go on Tinder and find somebody else.
Right.
That's the other thing. There are so many other motherfucking people out there. If you really want to be in a relationship, if you really want to fuck somebody, you can find it. Why are you fixated on this one person? They're not the best thing you've never had. I wouldn't say ever, never had, You can find somebody else.
Exactly. And
but also it's toxic anyway. You need to be single, reevaluate your life decisions, and then get on the dating apps. But we know that's not always going to happen.
No, it's not. And the men starting out this situation, so then women can either respond to. Here's the thing. So if a man says, "Okay, I want this woman. I want to date her. I'm not man enough. I'm not. I'll say not man enough because I don't like that phrase. I'm not adult enough, mature enough to ask her out. So I'm just gonna pretend to be. I'm gonna be her friend." And eventually, maybe she'll see that I'm a good guy, or she'll, quote unquote, good guy, that I'm good enough to go out with. So he starts the problem. So then, as a woman, you have a couple options. One is to recognize, oh, this person's into me and I'm not into them in that way. So are you mean to them and just say, hey, no, fuck off? Or do you say, well, maybe they actually are just trying to be a friend, so I'm going to be a friend?
Yeah.
Or do you say, you know what, fuck them for trying to like manipulate our friendship into sex. I'm going to make the most out of this. And so like those are like the three options. And I don't think any of those three are wrong. Because it's his fault in the first place for the way he started the whole friendship, quote unquote, the whole relationship, whatever.
Yeah, but I think a majority falls in the B. Like it's A, B, and C were the options. I feel like B is a big majority of people.
Oh, yeah.
oh, he's just being nice and we're just going to be friends.
We're friends. And then
Yeah.
they realize, oh no, he just wanted to fuck me. And then they're actually, women are pretty badly hurt because who they thought was a good friend, someone they could rely on and talk to and all these things, they realized was just trying to get in their pants the whole time.
There was a motive
And
behind every text, every call, every hangout. There was something.
yes.
And I think I might have mentioned this a couple years ago, but I had a friend who had a similar experience, and the guy got really drunk one night and just professed his fucking love to her after all these years. And it sounds romantic in your head, but it never goes out out well at all. That those are when those things are made clear as day versus just having a conversation of, like we've said, I want to take you out. How do you feel about this? If not, then we could still be friends or whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It is, it's one of those things that is very, and I understand why it's such a touchy subject, but it's because men get so defensive about it. Instead of actually listening and realizing, oh, yeah, that was shitty of me, they want to blame women. Oh, she led me on. She manipulated me. She used me, blah, blah. No, motherfucker, you were using her first. Like, you were trying to use her to get your dick wet.
Well, that goes back into like friends with benefits. Say from the friend zone, then you start getting accidentally, you start getting physical a little bit. And it's always, well, now that we're having sex, clearly we're going to be together now. And, if you go into a friends with benefits thing, then if you're not.
And that's the thing. Friends with benefits can work if you're both communicating. You communicate
But
about
if you're
it.
not, and you have that motive of, well, eventually be in a relationship, or I want something more, you're not. It perpetuates this. You're in the wrong, and you should not even be friends with them.
Yes. And that's the funny thing too, is I would say that out of the whole friend zone group of guys that whine about this, there's probably two different camps. One is just trying to have sex with a woman. They don't care about a relationship with her. They just want to bang her. And then there's a group of them that they are madly in love with a woman. They want to be together with her forever. And that group, the ones that want to be with her forever, I feel like are the more dangerous of the group because they are the ones that are the friends that are always there, that are always listening about what's going on in your life and everything. And then like, why won't you date me? And they become that nice guy where they're just like, they have this entitlement that can get really unhealthy and dangerous for the woman really quickly. And they're also the ones to always cry about being manipulated. And I think that it all boils down to, as so many things do, being able to communicate.
Yep.
Right? I mean, just communicating clearly and stop blaming other people for the fact that you are thinking with your dick.
Well, and the other saying that I keep thinking about with this topic is, yeah, someone didn't feel the same way you did. That sucks. Keep going.
Yep.
Keep going to somebody else. Keep it moving. Keep going.
That's true. And I mean, that's
Get
a
over
huge
it.
thing too, is that because someone likes you as a friend does not mean there's mutual attraction. And if there's not mutual attraction, what do you expect? Like, do you expect this? How do you think it's gonna happen if there's not mutual attraction? If there were mutual attraction, you probably would have known from the beginning because she probably would have made it just as clear. And so, don't make assumptions and don't ever, like, just be honest. Say, hey, I want to take you out. I'm interested in you, and that's really it. And if she says no, then either say, okay, well then let's be friends. Let's hang out as friends and mean it and actually
Yep.
be her friend. Or say, okay, well good luck, and then walk away. And that's really the extent of it.
Yeah. But it's holding on to something that you think you're gonna fix it, and it's somewhat of that fixer mentality of, I'm gonna fix this for me. I'm gonna make her realize I'm gonna change. Which even if in the future she realizes, hey, he's the one, I like him, whatever, it still starts with a toxic relationship because those traits of being a fixer are going to continue throughout the rest of that relationship. And that's not necessarily a good quality to have of, oh, I'm going to always fix something for this person.
Right.
Because so and so is damaged and they need to be fixed, or they just haven't realized yet or woken up from this life that they live. I don't know. It's
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, and I've been there too. Like, I've been friends with people where I was into them, but like I had to either make the choice or, sometimes I would make myself so indispensable that they wouldn't know how not to have me in their life.
yeah, that's
And
fucked up.
it's not healthy. It's never healthy.
Yeah.
But
Like,
I've
see how long you last without me in your life, and
basically, yeah.
nobody. And that's the thing. Now that I don't have a lot of friends, let's be real here. I'm like, I don't need any more than what I got. I would like a couple more. Let's be real. I would like a couple more friends, but I don't need so many people that are gonna feel like they're gonna control me or tell me what to do or whatever. And those signs of, oh, you could never do anything without me. Fuck you. I don't need you. I really don't
Right.
need. I'm fine on my own. And it also takes the self-esteem and the self-awareness and self-confidence to go, yeah, no, this I don't tolerate this.
Yes, that's
I
very
don't
true.
I don't need this person in my life.
That is, yeah, absolutely. It does take, it's a certain amount of sacrifice to be like, okay, this isn't going to happen. I need to walk away from it. And, but I think the thing is, men who have that and women who have that, like, fortitude, they're not going to be the ones that are going to be whining later on anyways. It's this certain group of guys who think that women exist to owe them a relationship or owe them things, that women aren't there as independently thinking human beings, but are there as objects to be sought after and
Clearly
possessed.
always want a dick in our mouth, Adam.
Obviously, obviously, that's what I've heard on TikTok.
Oh man. I mean, I've had guy friends back in college that I was attracted to and I had a fun time with, and I was like, it was the excitement of like, it would be cool, if we dated, but at the end of the day, that wasn't my motive of hanging out with them though. I really
Right.
enjoyed hanging out with him. Did I
And
end
what?
up sucking this guy's dick? Yes, I did, and that was a couple
Yes.
years later. And then we're still friends now, and I'm happy for him and he's happy for me and we're all good. But that wasn't the intention of, yeah, I really want to fuck this guy or whatever. It was like, oh, he's cool, he's hot, but we have a good friendship first, and we could talk about fucking other people, and we don't get upset about it, and then we could
Right.
also fool around and be friends and go on our way and still talk all the time.
I think that's and you can have those types of healthy actual friendships. I have a lot of female friends where we might have started out in some type of romantic or sexual way, and then it just didn't work out. And so instead of continuing to see her as someone that I want to still try to like have a sexual relationship with, we just became friends.
Hmm.
And I mean, there the number of women that I've officiated their weddings who basically like at the end I was like, oh yeah, last time I saw you, like we actually spent time together, we were, my dick was in your mouth, like, and then and then we just became friends, and here it is 5 years later, and you're getting married to somebody, and you like now we're friends to the level that you want me to officiate the wedding, and you trust that I'm not going to say that during the ceremony, and that's which
We
is
welcome you to here today.
the last time I saw the bride. Yeah, which it was just I would never do. But like it is true that I've had a lot of friends like that because I've been able to just set it aside and say, okay, now we're just friends and that's it. And it's okay to do that. And I think that men need to learn to do that. And it's the whining that drives me crazy. There's whining about the friend zone. There's whining about women manipulating and women somehow having this power over you.
I think it's a
Grow the fuck up.
maturity issue. It's
It
totally
is,
a
but these are men
maturity.
in their 30s and 40s. These are not high school. These are adult.
There's a reason they're fucking single. They need to grow the fuck up.
Yeah, yeah.
And I
It's
hate to
this.
be that black and white, but that shit's toxic and it reeks,
Yeah,
and there's a reason for that.
yeah. They are very very toxic, and I think that hopefully that some of them who listen to this will understand what we're saying when we say the friend zone does not exist, and that you need to grow up.
No, that will not be the overall message. It'll be, we're a man-hating podcast where we only talk about supporting women, and women do this just as much as men do this. And I did mention, there's a small percentage of women who will take it like the option A, B, and C of, whatever. But overall, it stems from the male expectation of
Right.
fucking a girl.
I mean,
I
that's the
don't,
thing.
and I can't speak on, I don't know with bisexual relationships or other relationships that this exists or doesn't. I don't know. I only know the hetero relationships
Right.
scenarios that I've been in. So
Yeah, and I don't. And I think that that it's funny that plenty of women who are bi or gay are able to be friends with women as well without whining about the friend zone. I don't see any women whining about being friend zoned by other women. I have seen it every now and then, like because the phrase has become such common vernacular. I've seen women talk about being friend zoned occasionally by a guy, which all that really means is that in those situations, usually he used her for sex and then
Just
basically
wanted
was
to
like,
be
we should just be
friends.
friends. And I
Yeah,
don't,
that's about right,
and
honestly.
that's not
Yeah.
friend zoning either. That's just the guy being shitty and basically just once
He
again
got what he wanted, and then he
thinking
was like,
thinking with his
friends.
dick, and that's what it all boils down to. Like, and that's why I don't like. I'm not gonna have any sympathy for men who want to whine about women manipulating you. They are only manipulating the situation because you started off thinking with your dick because you did not know how to communicate clearly with them. And if I can see if anyone ever has a single example of a man saying to a woman, "I'm interested in you romantically," and her saying, "Okay, I like that idea. I'm also interested in you. Let's be friends first, and then see where this goes. And I think in the future we'll date." And then using the guy for whatever, and then being like, "I'm not interested in you. Bye." Then I will admit the friend zone exists. But I can tell you that situation has happened 0 fucking times ever.
It's
0.
typically, and exactly. But I'm just thinking about how Master of None and I started of like, let's just take this slow, not
Right.
it was just dating.
Yeah, that's just
It
dating.
was the understanding of we're dating. We're not trying to jump into a relationship. So yeah,
So
yeah.
in the end, yes, men, don't be shitty. Like the takeaway for this is stop using the phrase friend zone and start thinking about your actual motivations when you're talking to a woman.
And
If
start.
you're
Oh, sorry, not to cut you off. Keep
let's
going.
see, and start thinking, about your actual motivations. Are you interested in her as a person? Are you interested in her as some type of sexual conquest? Are you interested in her as a romantic partner? What is your motivation? And based on that motivation, should really calculate how you treat her and how you approach her and talk to her.
And I would also challenge that one step further of look at all of your friendships. Are you treating them as transactions, or is there are you getting a positive experience after hanging out with certain people? Do you feel energized around certain people? Do you not feel energized around certain people? And focus on your friend group and go, these are actually friends. These are just people I want to fuck. This is my, and just
Right.
evaluate all of those intentions there, because maybe you haven't done that in a while and they're just still people in your life. I think honestly, people's circles might have actually gotten smaller because of COVID and they only talk to a handful of people. So, but I would say just reevaluate how you treat your friendships and then go from there as well.
I agree, and there's also, and I have to say this just in the interest of like transparency and honesty. Like, I have female friends that if we ever were to have sex, I'd be like, okay, cool. Like, like it would be something that'd be like, oh, it's on the table. Okay, great. Like that would be fun.
Yeah.
But my friendship is not dependent on us having sex. And it's okay to have if you have a friendship with somebody that you find attractive, as long as you're not using that friendship to try to convince them that they're like to have sex with you. Like that's when it becomes this transactional creepy thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I'm hoping maybe at least one man will walk away from this listening to this thinking,
I don't
I,
know. I
I
think it's
gotta
going to
stop
be a
being a
lot of
whine. I gotta
negative.
stop being a whiny little baby about the friend zone, and that's what I'm really hoping. Uh,
Men don't think like that. Men
I
don't.
know, I
Men,
know, but
men
some
don't.
of them, someone will learn. One person, one out of the thousands of listeners is gonna walk away from this and say, you know what, that's right, and maybe that'll make a difference. And maybe women will hear this and think, okay, I have to be a little more alert about my friendships because some of these are men just trying to manipulate me into sex and
True.
and hurt my feelings and not actually aren't real friends. And so it might be a good way to try to think about that too, that there are a lot of men out there that just want to get their dick wet and that the friend zone is not real. Stop using it as a phrase. Stop using it too, please. Like,
Stop
just
using it as an
uh,
excuse for
yeah.
everything bad in your life when you like somebody.
Yep. And I would love for women to stop using it too, to be like, oh, well, I guess I friend zoned him. Stop using that. No, you didn't do that. What you did is he lied to you. He wasn't your friend ever.
If you
Like,
weren't interested, you made that clear. He kept being your friend, and then he still wanted more.
yep. And then he was like, why do you always choose the asshole, not me? Yeah, you're the asshole, dude. You're the worst. You're worse than
Well,
the
my dick's
assholes.
out right
Because
now. Why don't you just suck it?
what, what kind of friendships do you have, Sarah?
I don't have
Hey, I
friendships
got
like
my
that.
dick out. I mean, while it's here, you might as well just put the tip in your mouth.
It won't hurt anything. It's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. Why not? It's ridiculous.
Oh
Uh,
God. Anyways, if you would like to see this entire episode on YouTube where Adam's sitting on his floor and I'm where I'm at now, you can go to youtube.com/datingkindasucks to subscribe, follow, and watch all of our episodes on there. If you want to follow Adam on TikTok, which is what is it again? It's different from your Instagram.
Yeah, it's just tiktok.com/Adam Heavitable. And definitely, if you're getting into TikTok, follow me there. I'll follow you back if I didn't recognize your account or whatever. You know, I do a lot of videos. I post a lot on there, and it's all, oh, not all, mostly Dating Kind of Sucks content. You can also follow each of our individual Instagrams and Dating Kind of Sucks on Instagram, and our Facebook group, which is growing every day, is facebook.com/groups/DKS podcast. And you can post questions, get advice, have people look at your profile. Even if Sarah and I aren't in there commenting all the time, there's a big group of people who are very supportive and helpful.
Correct. And I will not be in there commenting all the time. So expect the group to help out with
Well,
that.
I usually am, just because right now my time is a little bit different. I'm trying to focus on writing and everything as well.
Mhm.
So.
And then our Patreon, after each episode, we record a little Patreon for all of our members on there. For as little as $5 a month, you can become a Patreon member and receive, I can't even talk right now, receive exclusive content on there. Patreon.com/DKS podcast.
That's right. And then finally, if you are listening to this on iTunes, please leave us a 5-star rating and review. That would be fantastic. If you're listening to this on anything else like Spotify, share it with your friends. Tell somebody who might need some help. Anybody who needs dating advice or relationship advice. Anybody who's in a bad marriage, just send them our podcast, have them start listening. They'll be divorced within a year. I promise. It's just like a guarantee there. Like someone starts listening like, oh, I'm in a shitty marriage. I need to get out of it. So, you know, it's a good way to help your friends.
Going back to the new normal, listening to Dating Kind of Sucks and being in healthy relationships.
Yes, and we will be back in I'm gonna say 2 weeks with a brand new episode.
Let's stick. I think we can stick to this now that we're a better situation.
We're gonna say 2 weeks with a brand new episode from wherever we both happen to be, and thank you for listening.
Until next time.
Whether you're married or single or poly or ace, or hanging out with swingers back at your place, listen to us as we give no fuck on Tinder and Bumble and plenty of yucks, trying and having no luck, because we all know dating kinda sucks. Sarah and Adam are two of a kind. He says stupid shit and she doesn't mind. They're not doing this show to make any buck. Life as a chicken whose feathers they pluck. Why does it work? Well, here is the crux. They both know dating kinda sucks. Dating kinda sucks.